Hello students, in this second video in the forecasting series we are going to look at exponential smoothing and adjusted exponential smoothing method for forecasting. So let us start with exponential smoothing. So here what we are going to use is what is called as alpha, a weighted factor referred to as smoothing constant. So alpha will be used and it will be given to you. So the formula what we are going to use is like this: forecast for t plus 1 period is equal to alpha times the demand. In this case demand is the parameter, so demand for the period, and plus 1 minus alpha times the forecast for the period, right? So basically we are going to forecast using alpha as our weighting factor, which is called as smoothing constant. So let us look at the problem here. This particular data is already available to us from Jan to December, and we want to forecast for Jan again, right? So this is the demand value, and if we are using alpha, then this is how we will go. So because we don't have right now the forecast available, we will just use dash here, and for this basically our entire demand for the previous one will become our forecast, because we don't have the forecast. But from the next March onwards we will be using the formula, which will be alpha times, because 0.3 is alpha times the previous period's demand plus 1 minus alpha times the previous period's forecast, right? So by this end of the February we will get, or maybe the first week or first day of March, we will have both these values available to us: what was the forecast for February and what is actually happened in the February, what was the total actual demand. So using this too, we will be forecasting for the next month, March, and March forecast is coming to 37.91. again during the March actually demand was 41, so again these two values will be used for the April forecast. So like this it will go, month by month it will use the previous month's demand and forecast. If alpha is 0.5, then you can clearly see here alpha times the previous month's demand, and 1 minus alpha times previous month's forecast. So this is how the exponential smoothing method is used. Basically you need to be particular. If you are doing it manually, use the calculator, get used to the method of calculating. Do it yourself once so that you understand how to use this calculator for finding out these values. Now let us move to the next one, which is called as adjusted exponential smoothing. In adjusted exponential smoothing we are going to use two parameters, which is alpha and beta, or two constants which are alpha and beta. The same alpha which we use in the previous exponential smoothing method, and beta is a smoothing constant for trend. So both alpha and beta will be given to us. So we are going to use this formula like this. So adjusted forecast for t plus 1 is equal to forecast for t plus 1 plus trend for t plus 1, and trend for t plus 1 is given by beta times the difference in the forecast for t plus 1 and t, plus 1 minus beta times the trend for t. So you don't have to worry about the formula, just I will explain you on the table, and it will you will understand it totally how to proceed. So let us take this example of the previous example only same, and here given values are alpha equal to 0.5 and beta equal to 0.3. So how to proceed? First, we are going to use the exponential smoothing method only, the previously learned exponential smoothing method, and we are going to calculate this forecast for this entire period. So initially we are going to solve this problem like this. So once we have the forecast, exponential smoothing method forecast available, then we will start calculating trend. So when we are calculating trend, you see here the trend formula is going to use the previous period's forecast and trend, right? So basically what is going to happen is, to start with we will have 0 here, right, because we don't have the previous forecast, neither we have previous trend. So for February the trend will be 0, but from March onwards we will get the trend. Now if you see here, you will get beta times the difference between the forecast for this ft plus 1 and difference between forecast for the month February. So let me just help you. I'll just try to make this bigger so that, okay, now you can clearly see the formula. So the formula, for example, for April, the trend will be calculated as the difference between the two trends, two forecasts, right? So D26 minus D25 here, multiplied by the beta value plus 1 minus beta times the forecast for trend for the previous period. One more time, we will go for September. So the difference between the forecast for September and August multiplied by beta plus 1 minus beta times the trend for the August. So this trend values will be calculated. Once the forecasts are calculated, then the trends will be calculated, and the last step is simply adding these two values. So the forecast plus trend will give me the adjusted forecast. So it's a one more step ahead of forecast. But clearly remember one thing, when we are calculating trend, we will not be touching demand, we will not be going to the demand. So the previous column only we are going to use, not demand column. So if you remember that, and the difference here will be the 2, because see, when we are in the April, we want to find out the trend for April or May, all these values are already available, so we can easily find out the difference between these two, that period and the previous period, multiplied by beta and 1 minus beta times the previous period's trend, to get the trend for that particular period. And then this is what is going to be the adjusted forecast. So thank you.